All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Study Abroad 101. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started with the presentation. I'm going to talk just a little bit about studying abroad today. It'll just be kind of like really casual. So feel free to ask any questions, put in the chat or anything. And then also today we have advisors and stuff like that. You can hop into different Zoom rooms today to ask some questions. I'll be back in one of the Zoom rooms at 5 p.m. today. So if you have questions between here and now, feel free to hop on then. But yeah, you can skip this for today. This was what we usually just present to people for um, signing on and stuff like that. But so today we're going to do an overview. So we're going to do introductions, eligibility and earning credit, program types, housing and funding, and then some scholarships and next steps. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my study abroad program. I went to Peru. I went to Lima, Cusco, and Machu Picchu. And as you can see, this is a photo I took climbing Machu Picchu. And so I took that when I was on my study abroad program. And so I'm actually, I graduated from ASU. I'm a master's student now. I'm at the Cronkite School, which is a journalism school in downtown. So I'm still at ASU, but I did this study abroad during my undergrad. And I went right after my freshman year. And so you can go like right after your freshman year. I went the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year. As long as you meet the prereqs, you can apply and go ahead on it. And so a little bit about mine, I went on a college of nursing one. So I actually went on one that wasn't my major. So you can go on programs that aren't your major, as long as you meet the prereqs for it. You can go on some for like a minor. You can go on some for just for going for elective credit. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but just to keep your options open, like I went on one that totally was not in my same field of study. And so some fun facts is that since it was a healthcare study abroad program, it was a public health mainly. And so what we did is we went to this really rural part of Peru called Umbasbamba. So it's like in the middle of essentially kind of the middle of nowhere. It was in the mountains. And so what we did was one of the big problems in that part of Peru was that they would cook, but it'd be over open flames. And so they didn't have chimneys. And so then all this smoke would be stuck in their house and they would get bad like bronchitis and stuff like that, like just different respiratory infections. So one of the things we did there was they addressed us telling us that was a big public health problem. So then we went and with the resources that they had for us, we helped them build chimneys while we were there. So that was one of the things that we did. We also helped them build like refrigerators and stuff like that. The nursing students presented healthcare, different things about healthcare to the people in that part of Peru called Umbasbamba. And so that was just a little bit about kind of what we did while we were there. But some of the fun things that was, extracurricular that we did was it was the first time Peru had been in the World Cup in like 30 years when we went. So it was like during the FIFA World Cup summer. And so it was really fun. We all went to like the different restaurants and watched the World Cup with all the locals and stuff like that. So it was really cool. We all bought a bunch of Peruvian World Cup jerseys and all that. So the photos I have are the top one is a photo I took when we were in the markets of Peru. So while you're on your study abroad, you can go explore the city and the local community. The middle photo is of the nursing students who were presenting healthcare topics to the people of Umbasbamba. And then also the last photo is us at Machu Picchu when we were hiking one of the days. So then feel free to put this in the chat. You don't have to, but feel free to put like what your major is. Have you been abroad before? Where you want to study, when you want to study, any of that kind of stuff. So if you want to go during the summer, we have some during then, spring semester, winter break, all that kind of stuff. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. So to talk more about COVID-19, obviously, since it's like a huge question right now, we just received news that a lot of our summer programs have are not running this year. We still have a few, but most of them are not. So if you're interested in summer, definitely look into summer of 2022. And then also for spring, we have spring and fall programs running. So feel free to start applying for those. The deadline for the fall programs is coming up. It's March 1st. So definitely, if you are interested in studying abroad during the fall, get that on really quickly because the deadline is definitely coming up. It's in a few weeks. And so also spring though, if that's coming up too soon, just look into spring. The deadline for that is in September. So you have some time for that. But yeah, so that's a little bit about just COVID. We have some, like I said, the programs in the summer, most of them aren't running, but we have a health and safety team here at ASU who is evaluating the situation in every country. So I just wanted to point that out to you. And then we also have a frequently asked questions page on our website, which goes a lot more into depth on, what happens with COVID and if you're studying abroad, and it just touches more on that kind of stuff. So if you have more questions about it, feel free to check that out on our website. But some eligibility requirements. So you need to have a GPA of 2.0 or higher. You need to be a degree seeking student, meaning that you have a degree picked out. And then you need to be in good standing with ASU Code of Conduct. And then some requirements vary by program. So some of them, not all, you need to have prereq courses completed, foreign language proficiency, and then specific students only. And so some of them, you have to be like a junior or above or something like that. Sometimes you have to be in that specific college, but that'll all be listed on a thing called a program brochure, which I'll kind of show you after this presentation. So diversity in studying abroad, essentially what the slide is saying is that if you fall under any of these categories, just reach out to us and let us know. We have resources for you. So an Obama scholarship, first generation college students, graduate students, student athletes, if you're any of those, reach out to us. Or also, if you don't see your identity listed below, just reach out to us and tell us, some other things about you, and we can kind of help you find resources to make studying abroad as easy as possible. So it's just a little bit about that. So some earning credits abroad. So visit our ASU study abroad by major. So we have on our website where you can search through just by your major, and it lists all the different study abroads by your major. You can also just search study. And also, like I was kind of touching on earlier, you can go for your minor, you can go for certificate, gen eds, or electives. Like you don't just have to go for your major for studying abroad. And then also, whatever you take abroad, you'll get equivalent ASU credits back, and then that'll go toward your GPA. And then also you'll remain a full-time ASU student. And then if you're a Barrett student, you'll stay in Barrett. And you can also go on, Barrett actually has their own study abroads that they've been leading. So a lot of them are during the summer or during the shorter breaks. So feel free to look into those if you're a Barrett student as well. So a little bit more to the exciting stuff, more about studying abroad and more specific about the programs, is we have more than 300 programs in more than 65 different countries, ranging from 1 week to 1 year. So we pretty much go everywhere, and we go to every single continent. So that's pretty cool. And so we have a whole bunch of different choices. So, it's good to kind of start planning ahead because you have so much to choose from. And so for the application deadlines, September 25th, if you're interested in winter break, pre-spring or spring semester programs, that's the deadline for that. And I'll explain what pre-spring and post-spring programs mean. And then November 15th is for spring break and post-spring programs. That's the deadline for that. And then the deadline for summer, pre-fall, and fall semesters is March 1st. So we're going to talk about faculty directed first. This is a style of study abroad that I went on to Peru, and they range from 2 to 8 weeks long. Mine was about 4 weeks long. And how it works essentially is you'll be led by ASU faculty, and you'll have ASU students go with you. So you'll have ASU faculty go with you on the study abroad, and they'll teach you the course in that country. And you'll receive ASU course credit, as you'll notice on all the slides, it says that. And then also you'll also notice that internship and research opportunities may be available for all these different styles of study abroad programs. But yeah, so that's essentially how this kind of works, is you go with ASU students and faculty, you go to the country, and you will be taught by the faculty there. And yes, you'll be in class with ASU students, and you'll do some excursions on the side. And because in the program fee, it covers tuition, housing, and then various other program costs. What it means by various other program costs is like excursions and stuff like that. So for instance, in my program fee, one of the things included was the ticket to get into Machu Picchu. So that was like an excursion. So that was included in the program fee. Also, our train ticket to get from Cusco to Machu Picchu was also included as well. So just kind of things like that. So like different excursions will be included in your program fee as well. So global intensive experiences. And so how this works is it's 7 to 12 days, and it occurs over session breaks. And how these are can kind of get a little bit confusing. So I want to break it down as easy as I can. And so essentially how you can think about it is it's led by ASU faculty, and you'll be in class with ASU students. So how it works is I kind of think of it as like a field trip where you'll go for pre-spring. If you see pre-spring, so that means like before spring. So you'll go on the 7 to 12 day study abroad right before the spring semester. So do that, and then you'll come back to ASU, and then you'll complete a course for the spring semester. So it's connected with an ASU semester course. And so then another example is like post-spring, you come here to ASU, and you'll do the class You'll learn all about whatever it is in your course. You'll take the course for the spring semester. Right after the spring semester is over, you'll go on a 7 to 12 day study abroad. So, like I said, kind of think of it as like a field trip. So you will combine in-class learning, what you learn in that class, and then you'll go take it abroad, and then you'll incorporate that with real world experiences. So just kind of something cool that we started doing not too long ago. But yeah, so these are occurred when we have them during the fall semester and spring semester. So I just wanted to point that out. And then the program fee covers housing and various other program costs. And like I said, that means like excursions and stuff like that. So domestic global learning. So this is essentially studying abroad within the United States. That's, the easiest way to kind of put what a domestic global learning study abroad is. It occurs during the semester, summer, and session breaks. And you can also get internship credit for this as well. We have some that go to Hollywood, like LA. We have some to DC, Hawaii, and stuff like that. And, there's different prices for them. So that'll all be listed on the study abroad program brochure, which, like I said, I'll kind of walk you through what that is a little bit later. Essentially, it's the page on our website with all the information about like where you're going, how much it costs, who's leading the program, and all that kind of stuff. So partnership programs. So if you're interested in doing a semester long, definitely listen up to the next two, because this is the most popular for semester long, is partnership and exchanges. And so for the program length, partnerships occur during the summer, session A or B sessions, and then semester and year long. So you'll have essentially on-site staff available to support you. So how it works is ASU, the study abroad office, we partner with another organization in that part of the world that you want to go to. And so in that part of the world, let's say like in Spain, at a university in Spain, we'll have on-site staff there to help you with, anything from housing to obtain your visa to, anything like that. So planning excursions. And so you'll take classes with local, international, or US students. And then foreign language proficiency is usually not required. And with the program fee, you're going to pay tuition and then housing and health insurance and some excursions. And so the partnership program fees, they all really kind of just depend on the program you go on. So just check and see on that on the program brochure as well. But yeah, so essentially, like I said, we partner with another organization, you go there and they have staff there to help you out with planning stuff. And with partnership programs, they plan out excursions for you that you can pick from. So, for instance, like my friend who went to Spain and studied abroad, she had excursions planned out for her, like sailing and stuff like that, like sailing in the Mediterranean and, different excursions that they plan out, you can just pick from. So that's an example of a partnership program. And exchanges. So this occurs during the summer, semester, and year long. And we say it's like the most culturally immersive option, because essentially think about it as like when you come to ASU, you're a student here, you pick what you want to do on the weekends, you pick where you live and all that kind of stuff. So that's like pretty much what an exchange is. You go to that university, you're a student there at that university, and then, you pick what you do on the weekends, you pick where you live and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of think about it as being a student at ASU, but you're going to be abroad in a different country. And so you'll take classes with local faculty and students. Foreign language proficiency may be required. And then you'll be in charge of arranging your own visa, obtaining your, figuring out housing, and then planning your own excursions. And then with exchanges is you'll pay whatever you pay for ASU tuition. So whatever you pay for tuition right now is what you'll pay to go on an exchange program. So more about housing abroad. So I just want to point out to just set realistic expectations for standard of living overseas. What I mean by that is, where I lived in Cusco and I stayed a few nights in that rural village of Umbaba, living there is going to be like the expectations of living is going to be a little different than like, let's say an apartment in, London, or an apartment in another part of the world, in like a downtown area. So just have like realistic expectations of like how you'll be staying. So for instance, I was not expecting the same thing I would if I was staying in an apartment in like New York City or something. And so, yeah, so I just want to point that out. And then housing options vary by program, but may include homestays, off-campus apartments, on-campus residential halls, which means dorms, and then hostels and hotels. So for the longer programs, so like semester or year-long programs, most of the time you'll have the choice between homestays, which is like staying with a family in that part of the country, off-campus apartments, or on-campus residential halls. So you can pick from those. And a lot of my friends have done homestays who have wanted to go abroad to learn the language. So that's another thing if you really want to like go to, for instance, Spanish or German or whatever, and you really want to work on the language. A lot of my friends have found homestays really, really helpful because you live with that family, you live, you see the culture, what they cook for you, because they'll cook meals for you. And then you talk with them, during dinner time and all that kind of stuff. So it really helped them, they said, with their language and learning it. And so, but yeah, so then also the shorter programs are going to be more hostels and hotels. So like for the GIEs, those global intensive experiences, the 7 to 12 day study abroad programs, those will most likely be hostels and hotels. And then my program, faculty directed, mine was like a mix. It was a mix of like 1 week of a kind of like a hotel. It's called a residencia, the part of Peru I was at. And then we did homestays for 3 weeks in Cusco. So yeah, so it kind of just depends. And it'll be on your program brochure. It'll list what type of living and housing arrangements you can choose from for that program. So studying abroad for finances. So I'm going to talk about more about money for right now for getting scholarships. So I highly suggest you attend a financing your study abroad workshop. We have those every other week, and it just goes more into depth on how to pay for a study abroad. And so I'm going to go over just a little bit of, different financial options and scholarships. And so you can actually search on our website. We do offer study abroad scholarships and grants through the ASU Study Abroad office. So we have different ones that you can choose from, like for the planning scholarships, first generation college students, and we have like the travel grant and stuff like that. So go on our website and see if you fit any of the criteria and are eligible to apply, and definitely apply. I even encourage looking now to just see when the deadlines are to kind of figure it out, going on your study abroad program and figuring out the deadlines for scholarships so you don't miss any of the deadlines. And then also check out your college and department. So if your college, just go and see if they have any study abroad scholarships offered through their college. And I've had a few friends who've done that as well. And they've gone to their specific college within ASU and have asked if their college has any, money saved up for scholarships. And some of them do. So definitely reach out to your college and see if they have study abroad scholarships. And then also national scholarships. So the Gilman, if you have the Pell Grant, you're eligible for that one, or any of those other ones. Look into national scholarships as well. My friend got one. He got the Gilman for $4,000 and it covered his whole study abroad. So I really encourage applying for these and as well checking the deadlines. And so, additional financial aid may be available. So your current aid, whatever you receive right now from ASU, or if you receive like, let's say, like the Dean's Presidential Provost Scholarships, those will be applied towards a semester-long program. So just let us know if you have any like extra aid at all, and then we can kind of help you figure out the program that will work best for you with the aid that you have. And then also feel free to kind of go and do crowdsourced and community-based funding. I've had some friends who've done like GoFundMe's and stuff like that. So feel free to do that. But that's a little bit about finances. And like I said, I encourage you to attend the Financing Your Study Abroad workshop to learn more about all this kind of stuff. So then follow us on social media. And so we have all the different social medias. We have, Instagram, which will announce, upcoming events occurring, or just students who studied abroad and have like really cool photos that we'll share. And then our YouTube is more of students who have studied abroad and wanted to share their experience, because it's a lot different, thinking about studying abroad. But then when you see people who have gone abroad and, show their experience, it kind of makes it hit home a little bit more of the realization of like moving to a different country. So we have some students who have shared their experiences on there. And then also we have our WordPress, which is our blog. It's sundevilsabroad.wordpress.com. And that goes over a lot more of like students who wanted to just give advice to students who are studying abroad and just kind of what to expect. And so you could check that out. I've seen I did one on kind of what it's like studying abroad and living with a host family when my first language isn't Spanish. Obviously it's theirs because they speak Spanish in Lima. And so I just kind of talk about what it's like living with a host family when I know Spanish, but I'm not like at all fluent. And so I kind of just talk about that, like how it is living with a host family when you don't know you're not perfect in their language and stuff like that. So but yeah, so that's just kind of the stuff that the blog has. So feel free to kind of just check that out, to just even browse through and read through what some of the students have gone through. So also what's coming up. So since you've done the Study Abroad 101, you're good with this. You can always come to another one if you'd like. We have them on Wednesdays and Fridays. And so, well, actually now Tuesdays. And so we just changed that up for the semester. So Tuesdays and then Fridays, we have them as well. So Financing Your Study Abroad, we also have those every other Thursday on Zoom. And then the Journey Begins workshop series. So we have those, this like a workshop we'll do occasionally, and all that information for all these upcoming events are on our website, and I'll show you where to find those in case you want to attend any of these. And then also the Study Abroad Fest, which was today. So we launched that, and this will be going during the semester. We'll be having different presentations and stuff. So feel free to kind of look up any of those. I've had some students already kind of ask me about the different presentations we're giving and they want to attend. So I'll show you as well where to find those. So this is the last slide actually. So we're getting close to the end. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. After I walk you through the website, I'll stick around for a little bit and answer any questions you might have. And like I said, I'll also be hopping back on at 5 p.m. So if you kind of have more questions later on, feel free to ask. And we'll have also international coordinators throughout the day hop on as well. And they're great resources too. They're essentially kind of like the advisors of the Study Abroad office. And so feel free to scan this. This is a QR code and it'll bring you to a Google form. And what you can do is you can fill out like your name, your major, maybe like when you want to go abroad, or when you want to go, and just some information that like you can fill out. You can make it as specific or as general as you want. And what we'll do is the recruiters and the different staff at the Study Abroad office will go through them, and we will, find programs that work good for you, or we'll also send you a checklist of like, if you want to go spring 2022, we'll send you a whole checklist of like, this is what you need to do this, and then, so you don't miss deadlines and stuff like that, just to kind of keep you on track. So fill that out if you would like to receive it, like those checklists or anything like that, just kind of make it easier for you. And then kind of what I recommend from here on out is to get advice from a peer advisor, and then visit our website and just kind of start just browsing, just start looking at different programs to get an idea of when you want to go, what programs seem interesting to you. And then I also highly recommend you meet with your academic advisor. And even if you don't really know where you want to go or whatever, just let them know that you're interested in studying abroad, and then they can help you usually find like a good time frame for you to go. For me personally, summer worked best for my schedule, so I decided to go on a summer study abroad. But if you talk to your advisor, you can be like, hey, I'm interested in a semester long, and they can, help you out with maybe finding classes to take before you go and classes to take abroad and stuff like that. So just reach out to them and tell them that you're just interested in studying abroad. That's what I really, really recommend doing. And then also, like I was touching on earlier, attend your Financing Your Study Abroad workshop, and then just start applying for scholarships. And then we're also open. We are in the Student Services building, right by where like the shuttles drop you off by Gamage. That's where we are. So we're open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So you can always stop in, or you can always call us. There's our phone number below. And then feel free to email us too at any time, and we'll get back to you with any questions. But now I'm going to hop on over to the website real quick, and I will walk you through a little bit more of that. All right, so here's our main webpage. And so you can kind of just, feel free to explore it. This is where like upcoming events are. So if you want to look at any of these, I'll show you like see all events. And this is where all of our events for the next upcoming, months will be occurring. So you can just press on these, and it'll have the Zoom link for you there. You'll just register. But yeah, so here's like some different things that we have going on. Studying abroad as first generation. We do have some presentations like studying abroad as a person of color. I've gotten that question a lot recently, and we have people come talk and hop on. We'll do that, and just different webinars. Like if you're an ASU online student, we have webinars for you. So feel free to just look through this. We'll add, sometimes we add more, and it's just presentations and stuff like that you can kind of hop on and ask any questions that you have. And all like the Zoom link information is on there. So that's all on the front page of our website. And then, you can always look at news and announcements and some scholarships. That's where you can find like our scholarship search. You can press on that and then filter out, as much as you want. I'll actually click on it to show you. And it'll come up as like a big, thing you can filter out, like your year in school and stuff like that. So you can just fill this out. You can make it as general or as, specific as possible if you'd like. And then we have a whole bunch of different scholarships, as you can see. So that's why we have it filtered, because it goes for many pages. And so that's just a bunch of different study abroad scholarships that we found that we, want to give to you all to look at. And so this is like step one, studying abroad, learning about different programs. So you can either do study abroad by major. Not every major's up there yet, but we have a lot. And then we also have search and apply for a program. So if you don't see your major, this will bring you to like a thing where you can filter out, you know, what time of year you want to go, what area of study you are. And so that's for you right there if you want to look at that. Or you can press this, study abroad by major. And so I'll click on that, and this will bring you to a bunch of the different, you know, majors and stuff like that that we have. And so I'll just click on communication. So you can click on that, and then it'll bring you to all the different programs for communication students. And so, you know, it goes down for a while. But yeah, so just click on this one. And then this will bring you to what we call the program brochure. So we kind of throw that out a lot. Like we'll say, check your program brochure. So that's what this is when we talk about that. And essentially when this loads, it'll be, it shows you like what program type, it's a partnership program. And then it'll tell you like GPA requirements, it'll be English will be taught. And your international coordinator is Maggie Flynn. So definitely if you have any like specific questions about a certain program, reach out to your international coordinator. They're great resources for like asking about questions for that specific university or anything, or even, you know, so if you have any like specific questions, definitely reach out to your international coordinator. And how you reach them is, so you'll see this one's Maggie Flynn. And so you can go back, and I'll actually click back a little bit. But yes, that's the overall program brochure. So as we said, your international coordinator is Maggie Flynn. So then what you'll do is you'll go to this button right here, contact us or make an appointment. And so you'll press on this, and this is where all of like everything that you need to like schedule an appointment for is. So this is where like you can schedule the peer advising, talk one-on-one with a student who studied abroad. And then here's some more study abroad info, 101. But yeah, so like I said, we're looking for Maggie Flynn because we want to talk to her about the Dublin program. And so here you go. So you just press this. This is Maggie Flynn, and then it'll bring you to request an appointment. And then you can see her office hours. You can email her or call her. And so that's just how you reach and find your international coordinator, how you can contact with them. And so there's some more of them down here as well. But yeah, so that's just kind of how that is. And then on those program brochures as well, you can kind of keep browsing through. There's different tabs that you can click on the cost of the program and look more on like location and stuff like that. So I just kind of want to walk you through the website, but essentially that's all I have for you today. Like I said, I'll stick around if you have any questions. And if you don't have any, you feel free to go and hop into the other Zoom rooms, but I appreciate you all for coming, and I hope you study abroad.
Thank you.
Of course.
Is there anything that we should know before we study abroad? So I've already gotten accepted to an exchange program in South Korea for the academic year. But
Awesome.
is there yeah, but is there like anything that I should know about just study abroad in general before I go over there?
I mean, do you have like your classes picked out and all that kind of stuff all set to go?
Generally, yeah. I just need to
Okay,
make
cool.
sure
So
I
yeah,
get the
so
right
if you have like
equivalency.
your classes, if you have, you know, your housing arrangements already kind of figured out, you know, you pretty much set. But if you would like to like meet with someone one-on-one to kind of just go more over, you know, even things of like what to pack, if we have questions like that, even sometimes, you can contact the peer advisors, and they have all studied abroad like me, and they're actually my coworkers. And so you can contact them and meet at like even just have like a 30-minute one-on-one thing just to kind of ask anything about, you know, questions that you have about the university or anything like that. And if you have like more in-depth questions, definitely reach out to your international coordinator. If it's more like questions based on like that university that you're going to be studying at, I'd reach out to them and just kind of ask them anything. You can schedule Zoom meetings with them and stuff like that. So, but if you have pretty much all the stuff planned out, like your classes and housing, I would say you're pretty much set to go, and you know, have all your shots for, you know, some, like I had to get, you know, certain shots because I was for like vaccines and stuff when I was going to Peru. So as long as you have all that checked off, then you should pretty much be set to go.
Great. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah.
Hi, I just this was more of a question for you, but how'd the language hurdle go for you?
So for me, yeah. So like I took Spanish in like eighth grade through, I don't know, junior year of high school. So I took it for like 4 years.
Okay.
So but I was never like great at it. And so, but I actually went on two study abroads, one in high school to Spain. So it was also Spanish speaking. And then I went to Peru. So I've now kind of become more accustomed to like living with a host family where you don't speak their language like perfectly. But essentially, kind of what we did was I lived with two other ASU students. So it was me who speaks Spanish kind of, and then the two others, the one like barely knew Spanish and the other one didn't know any Spanish because she didn't
Sheesh.
speak Spanish. Yeah, so she was like, okay, how does this work? So essentially what we did was like I would try to talk as much as I could, but I stuck with really basic Spanish. And then what we couldn't
Yeah.
know what to say, we would just look up on Google Translate, and you can actually download Google Translate like where you don't need Wi-Fi. So when we were out just trying to buy stuff, we would, sometimes look up on Google Translate like how to say it. So that helped us out a lot. And then
Oh, okay.
also you might be are you going on like a faculty directed one? Do you know? Or like a exchange? I don't know if you're
Oh, I
interested.
have no idea. I'm not actually
Okay,
like
yeah.
set
So
up.
then also we like had a bunch of people on our study abroad who were fluent in Spanish. So it worked out kind of great. So I just kind of hung out with them. They would kind of help me with my Spanish. I
Right.
improved a lot during that time, that's for sure. But it ended up being fine because we used Google Translate if we needed it. And then we used charades, to like figure out how to like say stuff. But yeah, you learn easy quickly that the host family we stayed with, they totally understand that like we didn't know Spanish very well. And they thought it was really fun because we actually taught her some English. So it ended up being totally fine. We had a great time. I mean, my friend who knows zero Spanish coming in knew some basic words by the end of the month. But yeah, so
Sweet.
I mean, you just kind of roll with it. And it's good though, because if you want to live with like a host family, and if you don't want to, you can always do like an apartment if you do studying abroad for like a semester. I really liked living with the host family though because they like cook you the like authentic food from that country. They
Oh
teach you a
yeah.
lot about the culture, which I thought was really cool. So there's like some like a lot of pros to it. It just really kind of depends on your personal preference. Most of my friends though have done host families who went to go to learn the language. But if you don't really like have a preference of like really learning the language, you can always do an apartment. But I liked it a lot because it cooked for me and made like really good food. So,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
so like I said, it fine. So
So does the host family not I don't know, like are- do they not know, I guess, in our case, like English? Are they more just kind of like, or do they have some understanding of it just in
yeah,
case?
so
Like,
like for instance, they like for my study abroad and like they go through like they don't just like pick a random family. They'll like make
right,
sure like they'll go through see their house and make sure like approves whatever. And so we went through on my faculty directed program, there was a company in Peru that like picked the houses for us that we would stay and like approve them, made sure like, houses are looking good and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, so when we went, our host family, they didn't know English, but some of the other ones did. So it kind of just depends. And so like some countries, English is a lot more prevalent, like in let's say like Germany and stuff like that. So chances are if you go to the house in Germany, a lot of times they'll know English as well. Where in Peru, it's like not common really wasn't really that common in the part of Peru I was at to learn or to know English, which is like expected because I don't expect them to like know my language. But
yeah,
so essentially like wherever you go, it'll be like approved the housing and stuff like that. And but yeah, so not everyone will know English, but sometimes they will. It kind of just depends.
sweet. All right then, thank you a bunch. I appreciate
Of
it.
course. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
I know that there was a program in Cuba. Is that still available? Like, is the Cuban trip still happening, or?
So if it says on the program brochure, it'll say if it's canceled, if it is canceled, and then if applications have not opened yet. Is it like a summer program?
I have to look. I think it was there was one that was a more guided one that was like 2 weeks, and there was one that was a summer one. I have to look at the brochure though. Is there a link to
Yeah,
that
So if
anywhere? Or?
um so if it's like applications haven't opened yet and it's going to be in the summer, most likely it will not be running. You can also, what I suggest is you can contact like the international coordinator for that program. or you can even contact like the faculty member leading it, like the faculty director programs, and you can just ask them like, is this one running or not? If it's like this summer, if it's next summer, then you got plenty of time. So like you can just wait on that one. But if it's like this summer, then feel free to reach out to your international coordinator like today or something, and just to ask them like what is going on with that country and if that university is running the program and stuff like that. So definitely reach out to them for like a question.
Okay,
Like,
no problem.
about that,
So
yeah.
like if I'm looking to do any sort of like summer trip this summer, then like when would the deadlines be? Like I know you had it up on the slide, but is it
Yeah, so that will
when
be March
yeah?
1st is the deadline
Okay.
for the summer programs.
Okay.
So coming
Awesome.
up
So
pretty
I'll look
quick.
into that for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty fast. If I was doing
Yeah.
something for like spring break though next year, it said it was like September, something like that.
Yeah, so if you want to do spring break, that would be, let's see, I'm gonna go back in the presentation because I think that one is a different deadline. So spring break is November 15th.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
So that's out. All right. And those dates are the
Like,
same every year, basically. For the
yeah, they're the same every
deadline?
single year, yes. And then
Okay.
sometimes and like we'll have a few days where we push it back for like a certain program, but usually like this is when it's set for every single program. So as long as you apply by then and you know you meet the prereqs, you should be good to go. And then
Okay,
get
no
in.
problem. Because
Yeah,
I get like, have they released a lot of new information? Because last I saw, I checked this, I think back in like November or December, and it looked like pretty much everything was canceled, like for 2021. But it looks like some things are open. Like, is that new or was that just not
So
fully updated?
so is it for you're saying for programs that were like for just the year in general, like the fall and stuff like that?
Yeah, like programs for most for like the 2020 to 2021 school year looked canceled, but I guess some of them are opening for next semester now, right?
Yeah, so we have, like I said, we have students abroad right now. And so as long as you essentially will be like, so if you're interested in a fall program, it'll say like on each program brochure too, if that program is running in that country. Because some programs have like announced already that they're canceled. And so, but if it's not, then you can go ahead and apply. And as long as, you know, you just agree to kind of follow what's going on in that country with like the, you know, the shutdowns
The
or whatever,
restrictions,
like
yeah.
the rules for COVID. Yeah, as long as you agree to follow those, then yeah, you're pretty much good to go. So you can feel free to apply for fall if you're interested in fall. The deadline's coming up pretty soon though. So,
Yeah.
but if you're interested
So,
more in
good to
spring,
know.
then you got some time.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. Thank you
Of
for all the
course, yeah,
information.
thank you.
Thank you. And are the recordings in our email inbox, right? When that gets sent out?
You're saying for the
For
email?
this, yeah, the recording for this meeting is in our inbox and on your email, right?
I think this might be uploaded on the website, but
Oh,
we
okay.
do have an ASU Study Abroad 101 already uploaded onto the website. So if you want to go through and see that, it's like just under, I mean, you could probably just type in like ASU Study Abroad 101, you know, video or whatever. But we have it on like our YouTube page. We have it on our YouTube page where you can kind
Okay,
of walk
awesome.
through. Yeah. So if in case you want to, you know, look through this again and stuff. And we also have the breakdown of each of these program types on our website. So if you kind of want to just refresh yourself with like the difference of like a partnership and exchange, because it is a lot of information to take in on our website, like we have a paragraph long of like a description breaking down each program to make it a little bit easier.
Okay, that is great. All right, thanks so much. Thank you. Have a fantastic
course,
day.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then for Mohammed, for your question, so for Barrett, yeah, so you'd be starting that freshman year, or you can start it like sophomore year, but it's the honors college at ASU. And so, yeah, so if you're not in it, or if you don't know anything about it, then yeah, you don't have to worry about checking that box.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm an international student who happened to be a
Oh, awesome.
sponsor too. So still I can apply for this or not?
Yeah, so if you are coming to study at ASU for 4 years, like for undergrad or graduate school or anything like that, yeah, you can totally study abroad. And we recommend you go through, they're called the ISSC. So they're the International Student Center. I'm assuming
I'm
you might
familiar
have been
with them.
there. Yeah, so you can go to them and ask them like, because you just want to make sure whatever visa you have, like you can get a visa in that country that you're interested in studying abroad in. So yeah, but you can totally apply for programs. Just you'll just want to check and see like which countries you can get visas for with being an international student here. And so, but yeah, definitely ask them the ISSC, and then they'll be able to
Okay,
help
so
you out.
I think I assume I can choose whatever from the 65 countries I want. Is that correct?
Yeah, like
Or-
you can go on, yeah, like you can, if you want to go on a program for your major, you can like research it and do it through that way where it's, you know, specifically just through your major and like the time of year you want to go, you can filter it that way through a website. Or if you just kind of want to go anywhere, you can just, you know, essentially search by program and city or whatever. And as long as you meet the prereqs, then you can go. As long as you meet the prereqs and get in, then yeah, you're free to go
Mhm.
pretty much wherever.
on the country that I choose or will be going to, is the language is English or what exactly? So
Do you
let's
have, like, a
assume
specific-
I'm gonna go to Germany. Let's assume that
You want to go where?
Germany. Let's say
Oh, New York City?
Germany.
Oh, Germany. Sorry, I don't know why I heard New
Yeah.
York City. And so, yeah, for Germany, yeah. So you can look up if you want to go on like a partnership or exchange in Germany, because we do have a lot in Germany. And so, you know, we have a whole bunch of different programs. And so, a lot, I mean, often in Germany, the programs like for partnerships will be taught in English. So if you want to go for like a whole semester, you can. And so, so that's like an option. And you can also, like I was kind of saying earlier, contact the international coordinator to ask if the program that you're looking at is taught in English, because the exchanges sometimes are the ones that most often will not be taught in English. But in Germany, it could be that it is because English is a lot more prevalent there. And so though that's a great question for like international coordinator, because if you're looking for a country that, you know, if they're speaking
Great.
English,
Yeah,
a partnership's a good way to go for that.
good, perfect. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
You have a good one.
Thanks. You too.